The Time Capsule Paradox. Dr. Elena Voss stood in the sterile, humming lab of the Chronal Research Institute, her gloved hands trembling as she unsealed the titanium time capsule. It was July 17th, 2075, exactly 50 years since the capsule was buried in a quiet ceremony in 2025. Her team had expected relics of the past, data drives, handwritten letters, perhaps a trinket or two from a world before quantum computing dominated. Instead, when the lid hissed open, Elena found a single item, a worn leather journal, its pages yellowed but unmistakably in her own meticulous handwriting. The first page bore a chilling message. "Elena, don't open the capsule. It's a trap. EV 2080. Her breath caught in her throat. The date was 5 years in the future. She flipped through the journal, her pulse quickening. Pages were filled with equations she hadn't solved, experiment logs she hadn't written, and cryptic warnings about a temporal loop. The final entry was the most unsettling. If you're reading this, it's too late. The capsule is looping. You'll die in 2080. EV, impossible, Elena muttered, her voice echoing in the quiet lab. Her assistant, Marcus, glanced up from a nearby console, his brow furrowed. "What's wrong, Dr. Voss?" She didn't answer, her mind racing. The capsule wasn't just a container, it was a temporal relay, a prototype her team had developed to send objects back to its burial point in 2025. They'd theorized it could carry messages across time, but no one had tested it beyond simulations. Yet here was proof, her own journal, sent from a future she hadn't lived. How? And why was she warning herself? Against her better judgment, Elena's curiosity took hold. She grabbed a pen and wrote a note on a lab slip. Who sent this journal? What's the trap? EV 2075. She placed it in the capsule, sealed it, and activated the temporal relay. The device hummed, blue light crackling around it, and in a blink the capsule vanished, sent back to 2025. The air in the lab felt heavier, as if time itself had exhaled. Hours later, the capsule reappeared in its docking station as programmed. Elena opened it with unsteady hands. Inside was her note, but the handwriting had changed, jagged, almost frantic. "It's you, Elena. You're the trap. Stop experimenting now or the loop tightens. EV 2078. Her stomach twisted. 3 years closer to 2080. She checked the journal again. New entries had appeared, describing experiments she hadn't conducted. Tests on the capsule's temporal field, attempts to stabilize it, all failing. One entry read, "The more you send, the worse it gets. Time is fracturing. I'm losing years." The date was 2078, and the tone was desperate. "Marcus, check the chronal logs," Elena said, her voice sharp. "Did we detect any temporal anomalies when the capsule returned?" Marcus tapped at his console, his face paling. "There's a discrepancy. The lab's chronometer is off by 6 minutes. It's like we skipped forward." Elena's mind raced. The capsule wasn't just sending objects, it was destabilizing time around it. Each use seemed to pull her closer to the future described in the journal. But she couldn't stop. She needed to understand. She wrote another message, "Explain the loop." How do I stop it? EV 2075. Into the capsule it went, vanishing in another burst of light. The next morning the capsule returned, but the lab was wrong. Consoles were rearranged, unfamiliar equipment lined the walls, and Marcus looked different, older, with gray streaks in his hair and lines etched into his face. "Elena, where have you been?" he asked, his voice tinged with panic. "You disappeared for a week." "I didn't go anywhere," she stammered, her heart pounding. She opened the capsule. Her note was there, scrawled on a blood-stained scrap. "The loop is you sending messages. Each one fractures time. I'm dying, Elena. Stop." EV 2079. She checked the journal. Dozens of new pages had appeared detailing a world unraveling. Cities vanished overnight. People aged decades in hours, and timelines collapsed into chaos. Each message she sent was amplifying the temporal distortion, yanking her future closer to catastrophe. The lab's chronometer now showed a 10-hour discrepancy, and the air felt thick, oppressive, like time was pressing against her skin. "Marcus, what's happening out there?" she asked, gesturing to the lab's window. Beyond the glass, the skyline of New Seattle flickered. Buildings appeared and vanished, their shapes shifting like mirages. "I don't know," Marcus said, his voice trembling. "Reports are coming in. Temporal anomalies worldwide. People are calling it a time quake." Elena's hands shook as she wrote another message. "How do I undo this?" "Tell me exactly what to do." "EV 2075. She sent it back, praying for clarity. When the capsule returned, the lab was in ruins. Lights flickered, walls were cracked, and Marcus was gone. The capsule held a single sentence, barely legible. "You can't undo it. I'm you and I'm dead. EV 2080. The journal now spanned hundreds of pages, a chaotic chronicle of her future self's attempts to stop the loop. Entries described failed experiments, colleagues lost to temporal rifts, and a world where time no longer flowed linearly. One entry read, "The capsule is alive, Elena. It feeds on your obsession, pulling you toward me. Destroy it." Elena stumbled back, her mind reeling. The capsule wasn't just a device, it was a predator, a temporal parasite that thrived on her need to know more. Each message she sent tightened the loop, collapsing time around her. She saw it now. Every note was a tether, binding her to a doomed future. Desperate, she tried one last message. "Don't touch the capsule. Destroy it in 2025. EV 2075. She sent it back, hoping it would reach someone, anyone, before the loop began. The capsule vanished, and the lab dissolved into darkness. Elena woke in a field, the air cool and heavy with the scent of earth. The capsule lay half-buried in the dirt, its surface gleaming under the 2025 sun. She was no longer in 2075. She'd been pulled back, her body aching as if stretched across decades. Her journal lay beside her, open to a single line. "Don't open the capsule. It's a trap." She grabbed a shovel, determined to bury the capsule forever, to break the cycle before it could start. But as she dug, doubts crept in. What if she needed to warn herself again? What if someone else found it? The capsule hummed, its blue glow pulsing like a heartbeat, tempting her to send one more message, just one more. Elena froze, shovel in hand, caught between destruction and curiosity. The journal's final page, now in her own handwriting, appeared as she glanced down. "You're still here, Elena. You'll always be here. EV 2080. The capsule's glow intensified, and the ground beneath her trembled. Time was watching, waiting for her next move.